Bedell against Eddey. Eddey with the tackle and the win back. Had the handball option of Shearlaw. Now the 1-2. Bella Eddey can steady. And inside 50. 7-1 for the quarter to North. Shearlaw to the square. Randall brings it down. The cavalry arrive. Eddey has got 2 in the third.
Welcome everyone to Kanga TV, the home of North Melbourne fans. I'm back with Bella Eddey for another preview. We're here for the prelim preview. Bella, how are you feeling?
Well, thanks for having me back. It's like a little tradition now. I'm feeling very excited. The week off's been great, and I'm super keen to get into the power on Saturday and hopefully book that spot back into the granny, but we'll see what happens.
Tell me about your week off. What did you do? How did you spend the weekend? I know you went to the pub and watched the Port versus Hawks game. How good was that?
Yeah, it was unreal. A few of us went to the pub and then we headed over to Icon to watch it. So that was really nice, to still see the girls. But yeah, it was such an exciting game. I mean, that last quarter was probably one of the best quarters of AFLW I've ever watched. It was just so exciting. And Port were just absolutely on a roll. Credit to them. Like, they played an unbelievable last quarter there to get that win over the line. So yeah, definitely no easy task on Saturday to play them.
It was a grandstand finish, and we were just talking before we jumped on air. It's going to go either one or two ways. That intensity and the heat and the drama surrounding that game will either prepare Port for our game and just make them feel like they're invincible, or it would have completely cooked them, and we will be able to hopefully take advantage of that and get on top.
Yeah, probably. I think a few of us were talking last night at the club, actually. We kind of likened what they've kind of done in this final series to similar to what we would have felt last year. When you're heading in as kind of like the underdogs, and then we hadn't beat Melbourne before, and then all of a sudden we just come out and smash them in the qualifying final. We feel amazing and just like riding this wave, and then we go into Adelaide and do the same thing and win very dramatically by a point right at the end. So we feel like we know what they're feeling like, and you're just riding an absolute high, and you do feel a bit invincible, like no one can stop you. So, and that's a really dangerous thing for us to be coming up against. So I think it'll be a really tough, good game.
We have faced Port before. We've faced them earlier in the year in round 4. We ended up beating them. That was, we think, the last time that Port lost this season. They've gone on a winning streak similar to us throughout this season. How do you prepare? Because we have played them before, but the preparation from then to now, not just this being a prelim, but also kind of looks like a new look Port. How do you kind of prepare yourselves for that?
Yeah, definitely agree. We obviously have the knowledge of playing them before, kind of know what we might expect from maybe our matchups and things like that. But I definitely agree. I think they're probably a different looking Port now. That was all the way back in round 4, and the confidence that they would have now would be unmatched. So I think we can take little things from that game, but ultimately we'll probably have to look towards some of the more recent games, particularly the 2 finals, and how they got the job done in order to look at how we might be able to stop them getting on those rolls and getting really dangerous forward of the ball.
Now, 2 weeks ago in the qualifying final, we beat their crosstown rivals in Adelaide, and you played arguably the game of your career. Take me back to last Friday night. How was the feeling, I guess, in that third quarter and then post-game as well?
Yeah, I think obviously it's no secret Adelaide were really on top of us probably throughout most of the first half, particularly in that second quarter. But I think it was really mature from us, coming into the rooms at halftime. It was honestly so calm. I mean, despite the fact we were really under fire, we were only down by 5 points. And I think, the coaching group just reminded us of that. We hadn't really we hadn't really played the way we wanted to yet. So we knew that we had this half if we came out and played the way we want to and know how good we are. If we just do that, we can get the job done. So I think it was really mature. And yeah, in the end, we absolutely did. And that feeling in the third quarter, just across the board, I think there's so many people who stood up, and to get the momentum to swing like that, you absolutely need the weighted numbers, and everyone played their part in that. So yeah, it's just really exciting to be a part of, and I think a big growth for all of us, because a few years ago, I don't think we'd come out and be able to change the game like that. So it's just really pleasing to see that we've evolving over the years.
I think it's definitely about having trust in our system and trust in each other. I think that's a massive part. And often we talk about, having, and I've spoken about this with you, I've spoken about this on other podcasts and programs during the year, the difference between the men's and the women's side is that I think there is a much more level playing field, and there isn't a massive gap between our best players and then the rest. And it's not a disrespectful thing, but every team needs superstars and every team needs role players. But our role players and our superstars, the gap is quite small. And I think, you know, your performance in that qualifying final was just one example of that, of how there is opportunity for every player to have their moment. And I think that really did happen in the qualifying final against Adelaide.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. I think that is exactly spot on. That's one of the beauties of our team and why we've been so strong. We place a big value on our role players. We have a lot of trust in our system, the way Croc obviously wants us to play. We're all on board. We all know our roles to the T. We're all happy to play them. Like, you know, no one's really caring about, you know, who's out there getting 30, 40 disposals. Obviously, these things happen. Someone will. But I think you're absolutely right. Looking across every game, you know, you've got Ash and Jammin, who are obviously absolute superstars, and you know what to expect from them every week. But I think every week, maybe the ones below who then contributed the most to the game keep changing every week. You know, it's a different person. So I think that's what makes us so dangerous as well. Is who do you take? Who do you try to lock down? Because we've got so much depth, and it's super exciting to be a part of a team like that. And when we're playing such good footy and you have so much trust in your teammates and you absolutely just love playing with them, I think that actually allows us to go out there and enjoy it and play our best footy.
Oh, absolutely. And I think the fun that you guys are having definitely trickles down to the supporters, and the atmosphere at the games have been incredible. So definitely looking forward to another trip to Icon Park on Saturday. It's going to be 35 degrees on Saturday afternoon. The fixturing is once again just mind-blowing from the AFL. But anyway, we move on. We just control what we can control. How do you prepare for that sort of heat and that, like, on Saturday?
Yeah, I think probably mindset's a big part of it. We just know it's going to be really hot, obviously making sure we're hydrated and things like that. I think a few of us already touched on, like, we've done this before. Round one, we went up to Brisbane. It was 35 degrees. You know, even arguably they were going to be better equipped because they'd be used to the heat, things like that. And we went out there and did really well. So I think we take a lot of confidence from knowing that we've performed really well in a big game in the same conditions. So yeah, I mean, it's hard. And once the game kind of starts and you're in the flow and you're playing, you get distracted anyway. But yeah, both teams will definitely be feeling it, I think.
Now, a huge talking point ahead of Saturday's game is around captain Emma Carney. She should return from a hamstring injury. There's going to be someone unlucky to miss out. How do you sort of navigate through that as a group?
Yeah, I think, it's honestly such a tough one. I do not envy the coaches one bit there. Obviously, Carnes is, our captain, an absolutely phenomenal player, one of the best to ever play AFLW. So if she's fit and available, obviously she would come back in the side. And I think, honestly, it's so hard and to accept for the player who will have to come out for them that it's just a tough luck. And that's just the worst when you're coming out of the team. Like, you don't want to hear like, oh, you're just unlucky. But unfortunately, I think in this case, no one probably really deserves to come out of the team, and that person's helped us get this far. But unfortunately, sport can be absolutely brutal and cruel sometimes, and this is probably just going to be one of those stories. And obviously, really exciting for Carney, and everyone's so stoked to have her back in the side, to have our skipper back and play with her, and for her to get herself right to be back for the finals is an amazing, thanks to the medical team who get her right and the way she's gone about her rehab. But yeah, tough luck as well. Always two sides to one coin.
It's tough, and it's like you said, two sides. It's super exciting. There is unfortunately going to be devastation with someone missing out, but as a group, I think the girls, those who are in the side and those who are in the squad, all really get around each other, and it's still that one unit mentality, which I think is really nice. So hopefully that does carry through, despite the underlying disappointment, unfortunately, that will come with it. We're one game away from a second consecutive grand final. How do you prepare yourself physically and mentally for that? And to make sure that you still, because obviously it's no surprise, like, we have been far and beyond the best team in the competition this season. How do you mentally prepare yourself going into Saturday's game to really treat it as it needs to be treated before moving on to potentially a second grand final?
Yeah, I think Yeah, it's obviously hard because we're all human and we all want to win flags. So naturally, your brain just kind of starts drifting over there. But I think all of us just have to bring it back to we actually have to get there first. In order to win the premiership, we actually have to be in that game. And the only way we get into that game is by winning this week. So I think just reminding ourselves of that, it's not going to be an easy task. Port are going to throw absolutely everything at us. You know, either side has nothing to lose. So I think, yeah, we just got to focus in on this week and know to actually win the flag. Yeah, we've got to get there first. But it is a tough challenge. But I think the experience we had from last year. Like this final series just feels completely different to last year. Like as I said earlier, we were just riding this wave last year of like, oh my god, we hadn't beaten these teams, etc. Whereas as you kind of touched on, like this year, like it's kind of expected that we should be here right now because we're the best team. We have that confidence and belief. So everything feels a lot more calm and not as like whoa as it all felt last year. And I think that's really helping because everything's just feeling more normal compared to last year. So I think that's going to help as well. We just know that we need to turn up and get the job done.
I think the maturity and the belief and the calm nature and preparation heading into this entire final series, but more specifically the prelim on Saturday, is something that's so admirable. And I'm so excited to see the girls once again on Saturday afternoon. I think that it's going to be a great contest. And I think that Port will throw absolutely everything they've got at us. And I really hope that we can weather the storm and head into our second grand final. Bella, thank you so much for joining us once again. Here's hoping we're back again next week to preview the grand final. I already said to you, we will be there. So we'll be chatting once again. But best of luck for Saturday.
No worries. Thanks so much for having me on. And yeah, hopefully we'll be back next week to preview it.
We'll see you then.